right, hello everybody again. This is Tom Randall from GoldenCare. Thank you so much for jumping on the webinar today. I know your time is valuable and it is 2 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and get started here. I apologize up front in advance. I apparently have a cough that'll never end, so I've been got that respiratory thing a little bit ago, about 2 weeks ago, I think now, and I still once in a while will cough when I get rambling. And if you know me, you know I like to ramble, so probably you'll hear me cough a couple times. I apologize in advance if I do that. But before we get started, a little bit of housekeeping just to make sure you know that you will get these slides today, so you don't have to take copious notes on that part of it. And it's my pleasure today to talk about the first part of the pivot, kind of the introduction to the pivot concept. For those of you who both heard it and those of you who haven't heard it yet, hopefully you're going to see that there's a method to our madness, and we can do some really good things. This is a really important time for agents. Look at some of the tools you see on the screen there. GoldenCare is here to support you, and it's one of the things we've done for many, many years. And we really want to be a leader in the training side of it, but more importantly, on giving you the tools you need to be successful, because we know there's a lot of gray hair in America. And you know what? I don't pull any punches. It's up to us as agents to go out there and help these people. There's a lot of people who just don't have the help they need. 70% of the people we know over 65 are going to need some form of short-term or long-term care in their futures. And 90% of Americans still haven't had a serious conversation about it. And I'll tell you what, it is up to us to go out. And we know there's a lot of fun stuff going on and press about long-term care and all this other fun stuff that keeps us from thinking that we have to go help people because of inflation or people's budgets being tighter, et cetera. But at the end of the day, because of COVID, we know 61% of the people out there are saying, boy, now at this point, I'd rather die than go to a nursing home. We owe it to our Americans and our citizens and our fellow family members and friends to go out there and educate them, because you know what? We have solutions that can keep people out of the nursing home, and at least do our very best to really help people, not only just on the financial side, but on the conceptual side of knowing who's going to take care of them and when. So that's really what our goal is. We've got a lot of tools for you. I won't get on my soapbox all day long, but I do want you to know that's why I love what I do, because this is one of those things that to me is so important for us to go out there and really help the people. If my computer plays long, I'll even help you do a presentation. To really help people go out and help other people. And that's how we're all can be successful too, because we pay some great commissions on these products as well. So hopefully you'll sit back today, open up your mind a little bit. Some of you, this might be a little different way to approach it, but I do think there is, again, like I said, a method to our madness. And sorry to have to look at my ugly mug there. I usually pick on George and throw him up there so you can look at him for a second. But at the end of the day, see what I have to offer. Talk to one of our regional directors. We've got the best in the business here. We've got so much longevity. Our marketing support team, second to none, all the way from our licensing supplies. So I'm really hoping that you take the opportunity to reach out to GoldenCare and see how we can help more people using some of these concepts. And we know it's not a hobby. We've got some great incentives as always. This one you've probably already seen. Any of our long-term care carriers, Mutual, Thrivent, or NGL, you go out, every person you write, you get your name in the hat. We even did a double dip there for LTC Awareness Month, but that's over now, but it does go till December 31st for the contest itself, and then we'll do some drawings, and we put that on social media, actually, so you can see that you might have the opportunity to win some big bucks down there, as you can see. Okay, let's jump in. All right, now that I got myself ready for coffee mode, let's go right into what we're talking about conceptually today. And in a nutshell, I'll do this really quickly. There's a lot of slides here just kind of showing the premise. Most of you will understand where I'm going pretty quickly if you've been around. But remember the good old days back when you get 8% on your mailers and mailing was cheap, and every person you talked to, you could just about get a long-term care policy for them because the underwriting was much, much more lenient in those days. So we could go out and just make a great living. There were insurance agencies and insurance companies that were really successful just selling long-term care. Then we know as time went on, 2003, all of a sudden things started to change a little bit. They started realizing some of the claims experience, some of the persistency. We started seeing some legislation going out there trying to protect the consumers in different ways. And we started seeing that we couldn't get everybody in long-term care, right? We knew that they were starting to get a little more picky on the underwriting side of it. And now today, this is probably a generous pie chart for those of you who are out there. You know nowadays, if we go out and try to sell just long-term care, not only are we not getting good returns on our flyers that we mail out like we did in the old days, but now we know that there's just not as many people we can help if we just try to go to traditional long-term care. A lot more shoe boxes full of medicines out there, right? Everybody's on more meds. We got everybody out and their grandma who's a pre-diabetic, and we also know that most underwriters know that that basically means you're diabetic. So we have different things going on that are basically making it so that if you look at those decline rates down there, those are probably a little soft even already. 44% for the older folks are getting declined, and that number is going up a little bit, believe it or not, pushing up. So we know the legacy block of business in long-term care. Most of you on the phone are familiar with the fact that there's been some significant, to put it lightly, rate increases on some of that legacy block of business for long-term care. So we have a little bit of bad press when people start learning how to use those smartphones and Googling long-term care, et cetera. So in a nutshell, we know this business hasn't gotten a ton easier, right? And what we want to do is kind of change the paradigm, and we want to go from what we see on the screen, where we can go out and beat our head against the wall and not only help half the people that we're working with, and we want to make it look a little bit more palatable for us as agents, so that we can spend our time being valuable and helping people and making that that pie slice be much smaller as the no-goes. Does that make sense? So when I say a paradigm shift, I mean it literally. We know back in the days when I talked about those old companies that went out and sold just long-term care, and they got by with it because of the big returns and the underwriting was easy. So we called it skipping the meal altogether in this paradigm we're talking about. And for the last 10 or 15 years, we started as agencies and carriers talking to brokers saying, remember, there's other peripheral products out there that if you can't get them long-term care, which we all know, and GoldenCare has buttered our bread with long-term care for a long time, it's our go-to product. We know that we could tell people, hey, if we can't get you this great long-term care plan we tried to get you, remember there's some other peripheral products that we can offer that'll do a good job as well. What happens there? A lot of people, when you come back to the door after one of them gets declined, they don't like you as much. And suddenly you're coming out with what they consider like the B team, right? You're coming out with a product that isn't as great as you told them long-term care was. So in a nutshell, what we're trying to do, change that paradigm, change the way we go out and inform people and educate people, and try to see if we can do it a little bit different so we can feed just about everybody and we can get some protection for just about everybody. When I say everybody, when I say everybody, I mean everybody, right? We have plans all the way down to True Freedom, and I say down, meaning just on the underwriting scale. This is a really strong product. You'll see later on. I'm going to give you a little tease on this product to show you. This is a huge, great little plan. It's not even an insurance plan, and basically there's no medical underwriting. It's kind of a prepaid home care deal, and it's really strong. And we've really kind of embraced this here at GoldenCare because we realized, why is it our business to say, well, it's not really the product that we're used to selling, so we're not going to help people. Now we realize this is a really important plan to have in your portfolio for people, not only the ones who are not healthy enough to get anything else, but sometimes they even prefer this plan over some of the other plans they could get through underwriting. So we'll talk more about that later on. But in a nutshell here, it's available in every state, and it's a really nice, strong plan. So you do have something to offer anybody you're going to go talk to, okay? So let's look at GTL's home healthcare plan. Again, I'm starting from the bottom here as far as the easiest underwriting. And GTL's home care plan, a lot of us on this call are really familiar with it. Tell you what, 3 knockout questions, right? And cognitively impaired, are you living in a nursing home now? Are you needing help with ADLs? And if you sell the very biggest plan they have, you have one little question that says in the next 60 days, are you expected to have some help, okay? That's how easy it is. If you don't answer yes to any of those, I'll tell you what, you can go ahead and get coverage. That's how easy the GTL home healthcare plan is. And it's a strong, power-packed little plan that we'll talk about in a few minutes. So that's what I mean by the fact that we can help just about everybody. We have our regular base primary foundational plans, which are our hybrids and our traditional long-term care. We've got some great short-term care plans in there, our critical cash plan, and then we've got GTL's home care and True Freedom for the less healthy people. And again, I'm not taking away from those products because they're both strong, but they do have the lightest underwriting. That's why they're on the bottom here, right? And tell you what an exciting time we're in. This is one of the most exciting times in my 26 years here at GoldenCare because we've got some products coming around the bend that, let me tell you, I'm still on a non-disclosed, so I can't talk too much about them. but there's a huge area in the middle of this red line here that we're going to be able to have with some really strong product offerings coming up in this next year. So we're really excited about those, and we'll keep you posted as those come along. But let's talk today just about the concept of what we're dealing with as of today. We have even these lighter underwriting products that I talk about, they have a lot of muscle. And don't get freaked out by this pie chart you're looking at on the screen here, because everybody's pie chart is going to look a ton different. Some people like hybrids much more. There's going to be a bigger pie piece there. Some people like the traditional long-term care more, etc. I do guarantee you that in 2023, I'm going to change this slide. And this slide is going to show a whole lot bigger of that upper left. That short-term care and peripheral products, they're starting to get some exposure, right? And they're starting to see that these are great options. And there's times that I'll put these suckers up against a really strong little 2-year long-term care plan, and these things will perform. So there's some really good options going on out there. And to me, underwriting is where it's at. We got to help more people. If you're going to get picky on me on the underwriting side, you know what? I'm going to make sure I have a product that I can go out and help people with. And that's the goal, is to make sure we can keep people out of that nursing home even for a couple extra years, and it will do wonders for people, not only on the financial side, but more importantly on their choice and independence side and aging with dignity. Okay, so again, when I talk about availability, a lot of agents say, well, I don't really have much in my states. Now, thank goodness, a lot of agents are selling over the internet, so we sell in multiple states. And you know what? There are a few Debbie Downers out there. We know Florida's out there. We know California. Good old Minnesota's guilty too, because all we have out there is critical cash as far as these peripheral plans. True Freedom is available in all the states, and we know traditional long-term care is out there as well. But as far as the peripheral plans, the net is thrown pretty wide too geographically. You can see there's a couple. New York is always a stickler, obviously, in Massachusetts. But when you get into the middle states, you can see there's a lot of orange there. GTL's home health care is available. And we have plans that we have the Recover Cash and the GTL's Recover Cash and Aetna's Recovery Care as well. So we got a lot of good things out there in a lot of different states, and we can certainly help you with that here at GoldenCare as well. These slides are just for you guys to peek at later when you get the handouts. And I'm going to show you tomorrow, we have a new tool coming out that's just you're going to love it, because of the fact that all these little underwriting differences are going to be on there, plus state availability, et cetera, right online, so you can see it really quickly, instantly when you're in front of a client. Okay, so these do have the different availabilities on here that you get as a handout. And when you get into these short-term care plans, like I said, there's sometimes that these plans perform pretty well, really, honestly, against a traditional long-term care plan. They're certainly more affordable, and the underwriting is certainly more lenient. But you also have quite a bit of punch at the top STC levels. And again, I'm not going to go into a full product training. We do full webinars on this. But I will let you know that Aetna's Recovery Care is probably the most popular short-term care plan in the industry. The Recover Cash is a great plan from GTL. We have both these in our portfolio, obviously. You can see that both of them offer really good nursing home and assisted living protection. Both of them have a lot of flexibility on the benefit period options. And you have a hospital indemnity for all those MA plans out there. One of the things people love about Aetna is that MA portion that you can add on. And we have restoration of benefits. So remember, these things will pay if you get better. They're going to pay for a full another period, which makes them stronger than a lot of people realize. And these, again, are indemnity benefits. So you get paid regardless of the insurance out there. And if you go on claim, you're going to get your payment. Okay, we have home health care as well. That's where people really, the money's at, right? This is the reason people buy these policies most of the time, is to try to stay out of the facility if they can. And with the home care, we got very strong on the Aetna side, recovery care. And you can see there, they go up to $1,200 per week. And the Recover Cash, which has the weaker home care right now, but I know there's some things in the works to be on the lookout for next year that we're not under gag order with, but I can't give you all the details right now, but I know that plan is going to get much more robust here in the weeks and months to come. So we'll keep you posted on that, because that's our job here at GoldenCare, to keep on top. But the big thing with GTL's Recover Cash, of course, is that inflation protection. We don't have the inflation on the Aetna plan, so we have the optional inflation rider on the GTL Recover Cash, and that's great for younger folks especially. So we have a lot of our career agents who are specialists in this field, and they sell a lot of GTLs to the younger folks and the Aetnas to the older. for some of the agents, they follow that a little closer. So totally up to you, but again, we have a lot of flexibility. Again, I told you a little bit that we have a tool coming out here. Literally, we're talking weeks away, and I've been teasing a couple of you, have probably heard me before. We really want to make it great, so it's going to be a great tool. You're going to see that it's going to fit into this pivot presentation that I'm showing you tomorrow really well. But basically, any of these different health orders, everything you see on any of these peripheral products apps are right in this tool that I'll show you. So you can do a quick little search, keyword search, and you'll be able to know exactly which products will qualify for any given health condition. These are here more for you before we had that tool coming, and for you guys as a reference tool if you need to when you get your handout. Okay, shows all those different things that obviously with long-term care, with most of these, you're running for the hills. With the short-term care products, you have some availability of coverage. This is Aetna's Recovery Care short-term care plan. This again is right out of the application just to show you how easy it is. And again, you guys, I'm not kidding about it. When we look at older folks, I talked about the fact that we 50% declines. When we're looking at our short-term care products out there, we've got overall like a 90% issuing rate. So we have a higher rate out there and the ability to help more people with the short-term, even the full-blown short-term cares out there. Okay. Excuse my cough. We've got GTL's Critical Cash. This is a plan that we designed with GTL, and it's a critical illness policy that has a lot of long-term care flavor. And I just want to spend a second because this plan's been around a while, and agents who love it, and a lot of agents who haven't embraced it because they just haven't got around to really feeling like digging into that brochure. But I'll tell you what, once agents really listen to it and have the opportunity, I can have one of my regional directors or one of our training sessions go through this plan in detail, and it's really a strong plan. You can see here, this is one of the most powerful policy designs that I'm showing you here. This is called our bucket calculator. And you can see here that it's a $432,000 pool of money. And if you go into a home care situation with any of those conditions that you see on your left-hand side, from cancer, heart attack, stroke, Alzheimer's included, you can see that you get a lump sum payment of $1,000 times like a 24 months, so 24 grand lump sum. If you need to go to assisted living or facility care for a nursing home, you can get additional money on top of that. So it's a very powerful little plan that has really strong nursing home coverage available and super strong home health care. Remember, it's a diagnosis trigger. So the big key with this, and the thing that a lot of agents don't understand until they hear it a few times, is there's a huge crossover of claims with long-term care with this plan. If you look at long-term care, you look at Alzheimer's, stroke, and cancer, that's 70% of all the dollars paid out in long-term care these days. Okay, so those are the biggies: cancer, heart attack, and of course the Alzheimer's. And if you look at a critical illness plan, you can see cancer, stroke, and heart attack. That's 80% of all the CI plan claims out there, the critical illness claims. You throw Alzheimer's on top of that, you can see that's what we mean by huge crossover claims. Doesn't cover everything, right? Doesn't cover some mobility issues sometimes. Some of the things that will be covered by long-term care or short-term care, but when it comes to these biggies, this plan really can perform, and it's much more affordable, and the underwriting's much more lenient. Remember, with critical cash, they can go places that long-term care can't. This is one of the things that you have to realize when you start seeing the power of this plan, is that there's no 2 of 6 ADLs, there's no 90-day. If you get diagnosed with one of those conditions, you get coverage. Same thing, I just had a brother-in-law who had a stroke about a year ago, and he had a stroke. He would have been paid on that full stroke, $24,000 in this case that I just showed you. But he had a pretty mild stroke. It was definitely a stroke, but I tell you what, he could have been out golfing 3 weeks later. Unlike long-term care, you don't have to be getting care to get it. You get the full amount just for having the diagnosis. So kind of a nice thing there as far as the lump sum goes. No elimination period, et cetera, and these are just cash plans. You don't have to have any documentation of expenses. So if you recover or die, you do get paid the full amount still, okay? And again, this is more for later on for you guys to look at. It is in our tool that I'll show you that will have the underwriting tool. All these different conditions will be in there so you can see exactly what's covered by GTL's critical cash that wouldn't typically be covered for long-term care traditional insurance, okay? And there's even some unique things on here that you'll see as you dig closer. There's some things that the critical cash will cover that even some of the short-term care and stuff won't cover as well. Okay. All right, let's take a quick look at GTL's home health care plan. Again, I know you're drinking out of a fire hose today, but this is just a preamble to tomorrow when we get into the actual consumer presentation itself, and I'll show you how we put all this together and really can help more people and help your checkbook out at the same time. So remember, this is the one that just had the 3 knockouts, the GTL's home care plan. So it covers just about everybody besides people who are already getting care. And even though it's very, very light underwriting, there's really powerful benefits with this little plan. And again, this is one that they're planning on enhancing as well, I believe, in the next, I don't want to give a timeline, but we'll be on the lookout for. But this plan on the medical home health care side is really strong, right? You can have plan A, B, or C. You can see it covers $200-300 depending on which plan you get. It'll cover, you know, from 75 or 50 to up to 200 to 300 on plan C, up to a combined maximum daily for those different types of conditions that you might get help for in any given day, up to $150, $300, or $450. And then the pool of money is a 1-year plan, so you can get a $54,000, $108,000, or $162,000 pool of money, if you will. So a potential pool of money. So that's a real strong on the medical side of it. No complaints there with GTL by any stretch. They do have a home health care aid benefit, and I'll tell you what, for the underwriting being so simple, this is a godsend to have people. It's amazing how much a plan like this can help people. Even with just a 60-day home health care aid, you can have plan A, B, or C with $40, $80, or $120 respectively. So if you multiply that by the 60 days, we did the math for you, $7,200 potentially with plan C. So it doesn't sound like a lot, but remember, most of the care you get at home is home health aids. And that's one of the reasons that GTL throws that net so very, very wide, is that they know a lot of people aren't going to use a lot of specialists and therapies in a lot of cases, but the home health aid, we know they have to be careful with because the underwriting is so simple. So they do limit the home health aid quite a bit, but I do believe, and I do know that that'll probably be changing, where we'll have a few extra days of home health aid available, hopefully sometime next year. All right, 5 optional riders. Nice thing about GTL is they've got some really nice, GTL is a great company. Tell you what, they've got the best HI plan out there, if you ask me, and they take little parts of these other policies and put them in as riders with their GTL home health care plan. So if you're not familiar with it, check it out. They've got a great hospital indemnity rider on there, great for people with MA plans, right? A lot of covering out some of that out-of-pocket costs. And just important down there, I won't go through all of them here, but the dental and vision plan. We know most seniors don't have D&V. They don't have the dental vision. So that's one of those things you can get up to $1,200 per year as a dental and vision rider. Very, very, very strong and very affordable. So check that out if you're selling the GTL's home care. Don't forget about the dental and vision, because a lot of companies are throwing it as an add-on product. With this one, you can have it as a rider right in the plan. Okay. All right, flexible, affordable, and then I can't forget, and I would have if it didn't pop up, I can't forget about that good old RX benefit. They have a great way to save on net premium with GTL's home care. We love this part of it. This little RX benefit basically says, hey, if you get plan A or B, if plan A is a $300, plan B or C is $600 you can get back based on your meds that you have refilled. So that's going to save you on net premiums. You might not use the whole $600, but I'll tell you what, a lot of people use $300 of it, and you're going to have a good savings on your net premiums. Okay? Ask anybody at GoldenCare, we can explain that to you as well. Finally, we're looking at that True Freedom plan. Remember I told you that not really an insurance plan per se, but this policy, I'll tell you what, does a lot of nice things. The underwriting, no medical underwriting, right? No age worries about, no claim forms. Everything's out there and it's nationwide. That in itself makes this plan very attractive because it's so available. That's a word I was looking for. It's so available for you. And it does all these non-medical things: meal planning, grocery shopping, light housekeeping, monitoring your diet, company to church, grooming, all that custodial care stuff that's so important for people to stay at home comfortably. And there's significant savings on the care. I'm not going to go into the numbers today. We have full trainings on this plan. And sometimes it'll really knock your socks off when you look at just how strong this plan is dollar for dollar at the end cost, your net cost per hour of care can be really low and very affordable. So you can see here later on, check it out, the platinum, gold, silver, bronze, all these different levels of plans. So it can be very, very affordable for everybody. And regardless of what the checkbook can say, we can get a plan that fits them. And we have an affinity discount available as well now. So Dennis Ryder in our office done a great job of putting some good things together with True Freedom, working real closely with their team and putting together some great opportunities for you as agents. So keep in line there. If you do anything with the affinities, make sure you talk to us as well. In a nutshell, all my blabbing at you and coughing at you and all the different things we're talking about today, you know, in short, if you don't have other things in your portfolio and you don't understand them enough to be able to go out and help people, you don't have to be a rocket science. These are easy products, and most of these products, we have great training to help you. And more importantly, we've got a great team here to help you right at the time of sale. We've got Ask the Professional, where you can go on our website, find our calendar, and click it on there and say, you know what, I want somebody in that office who knows what they're doing to be on the call with me and my client and help walk them through and choose a product. We can do that for you. That's how full service we become here at GoldenCare, because we know Americans need our help and we know they need your help, and we're here to help you. So in short, you can sell nothing, walk away and say, well, let's go try the next person in long-term care. And that's great if you can afford it. But I'll tell you what, spread that net wider, help more people. There's so many people that I've walked away from back 25 years ago or 26 years ago when I started in GoldenCare. I did hundreds of consumer seminars, and I had to walk away with people who were out there who had a little bit of mobility problem or something, and I just had to say, well, sorry, we won't be able to get you anything for long-term care, but hopefully we know somebody who might be able to act sooner and get some help. What a shame. Now we have the ability to go out and really help just about everybody we sit in front of, and it's so important. I can't stress it enough. And what we're seeing more often is roll up those shirt sleeves. Get good at what you do. And I'll tell you what, if you do as an agent, you're going to knock some of them out of the park, because you can get creative, use our team, let us train you, and you can go out there and say, well, I'm looking at somebody who's a 61-year-old who can't get traditional long-term care. I would have got a $4,500, nice little $150,000 policy, 3% compound for $4,100. And you know what? They can afford that, they want that, but I can't quite get them over the hump with the underwriting. Watch what I can do with some of these alternative combos. And this is just one example, you guys. And wait till we come out with those new products. It's going to knock your socks off what we can do, especially with a combination. We could go out with this person and say, instead of that long-term care plan that you can't get, how about we do a GTL critical cash plan, put an 18-month benefit on there. We're going to give you a $324,000 pool of money. It's going to cover $1,000 on the home care, $5,000 on the facility. So it's a really strong, rich product to cover you on your nursing home or facility side, like you would with traditional long-term care, right? But that's only $1,143. So we're going to take some of that additional premium that you were willing to spend, and we're going to get you a nice little GTL Home Healthcare Plus package. You can see down below, that's a 360-day plan at $450 daily maximum, and you got your home health area in there, and $300 per day hospital indemnity rider, and the $1,200 per year dental and vision rider, and that's additional $1,254. The total premium for this package, $2,397. So again, I know you're drinking out of a fire hose, and it's hard to grasp that right now, but what I want you to know is we have agents in our career shop who do this every day. They go out and say, yeah, you know what? I can take this short-term care product, add on this home care product, and I can knock it out of the park and save my clients money. And you know what? There's times you do it even when that person can qualify for long-term care. There's some options that are so attractive that it's like, wow, this might be a better deal when you start doing some of these combos. So lots of good things going on. 2023 is going to be a rocket year for us, because we are going to put tools in place to make this easier and easier for you every day. Okay? Tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Time. I'm going to go home and go into my hyperbaric chamber or whatever I call it and make sure I can breathe and be able to give you this presentation, because I'm really excited about it, because the agents who have embraced this have loved the concept of saying, let's go out and let's do it smart. Let's start out and show you the tools we have available with this presentation to go out and say, first of all, remember, relax. We have some type of coverage for you no matter what. I can get something to help you. But let me, if you don't mind, you buy this product with your health more than your checkbook. So let me do you a favor and spend a couple minutes talking a little bit about your health. Then I can offer something and present something to you that I think you're going to see is pretty strong. So let's see where you're at health-wise. And then it goes into some of these health areas, and this looks intimidating on this screen right now, and this is going to change a lot in the next couple of weeks, because all these things at the bottom of the screen you see are little underwriting guides for all these different carriers. Now we have one tool, one PowerPath Instant Pivot tool. The Instant Pivot's going to be able to go out there on the underwriting and be able to type in just a couple words, and it'll tell you exactly what product fits for what health conditions your client might have. So you're absolutely going to love it, because I know from working with agents so long that this tool is going to save you a ton of time. It's going to make it super easy, whether you're sitting across the table or you're sitting over the internet talking to somebody about their protection for them, their family, and themselves. So really excited about it. State availability will be right there in the same tool. I'll show you all that tomorrow. And in this pivot presentation, one of the main things I'm going to show you is, if you're talking to somebody over the internet, you want to have everything available for you to answer questions. We want to make sure your confidence is high enough because you have the tools available. So as part of all of our pivot presentations, any point in the presentation, you can immediately pivot over to this resource page. At any point in this presentation, you can immediately pivot to any of the different products we talked about today. And as we get those new products, we'll put them into the pivot presentation as well. And you're going to see that this thing's going to be out there, and it's going to be a tool that's going to give you the ability to go out and help more people than you ever could imagine. So we're really excited about the opportunities for it. And I'm putting my money where my mouth is on this one. I really think this is going to be a tool that can change this industry, along with some of these great new products that we have coming around the bend. Okay. And just because you just can't get enough of me, I know, it's scary. I wish I had Clooney's face up there for you, but we do have our end of the year, January 4th. It's beginning of the year in this case, of course, but we go through and we talk about kind of our updates webinar. My brother Mark made this famous back in the day with GoldenCare, and now that Mark is no longer with us, can't believe it's been 4 years already. But we do have other guest speakers at times, and this year I got the nod, and I'm really excited about it, to go out and show you what's going on in the industry, give you a little recap of some of the different things that are going on in the industry as we know it. And we'd love to have you there. We're even going to throw a bone for you, so you have to look at my ugly mug so you get a chance to win one of $300 Amazon gift cards, etc. That we'll do a drawing right at that one. So pencil that in if you'd like. I would love to see you there Wednesday, January 4th at 2 p.m. Central. And there's about a 90% chance I won't have a huge cough then, and cough in your ear as well. So that being said, you guys, I know I've been babbling at you, going hardcore, and I do want you to know that I'm very sincere about what I do. This is one of the things that I know there's so many Americans who need our help, and I'm sorry to get on the soapbox again, but it is up to you. It's up to people on these calls. It's up to agents out there who we haven't had the ability to touch yet, that we need to say, boy, you can make a lot of money, you can have a lot of success, and more importantly, you can go to bed at night knowing you're helping so many Americans who literally, they just don't have the options. And I'm going to make sure I do my due diligence here. If you're not with GoldenCare, of course, get appointed. Call us at 800-842-7799. I'm going to try one thing here and see if I don't screw myself up. But, you know, just the other day, I saw this article, and hopefully you can see it. I'm going to peek and see if you're seeing it. Yeah. And I'm not hyping for CNET or any of that, but it was Steve Moses had a link to this, and it's talking about caring for aging relatives. And it's a story we all know. But you know what? This is December 13th of 2022. It's pretty recent, right? There's stories out there like this. It talks about the baby boomers getting older. It talks about the fact that nobody's helping us anymore. People are out there, their agents ran for the hills and started selling products that were easier to sell. Nobody's helping people. 90% of Americans haven't had the conversation. And there's people all over the country who are volunteer caregivers who are beating their heads against the wall trying to help their loved ones. And they're out there spending their money, spending their time, and getting stressed out and going on anti-anxiety meds because they're stressed out. We have simple products that are very, very affordable that can literally help people. And when you talk about these peripheral products, let me tell you what, you're going to hear a lot of me in the 2023. We've got products, you guys, that throw the net so wide that you can help people who are 70 years old, who you used to say, boy, I don't even want to go long-term care because this person is going to get declined for sure. But there's products out there that can help them. And remember those old stats we used to talk about. It doesn't take as much as you think to keep somebody out of the nursing home. It doesn't take as much as you think. Most claims are short. There are those long catastrophic claims. You know what? You got to plan way ahead if you're going to hit one of those. We don't have a crystal ball, but I'll tell you what, just on those short-term care, those are great, great policies that can do some great, great things for your clients. And they'll thank you for it. And it's one of those things that I know, again, doing this as long as I have, this is a very, very pivotal part of what we need to do in America to help our senior citizens, because we're not going to get by on the Medicaid bankrolls for long. It's just not going to keep up. So anyway, off my soapbox again. Sorry about that. Give us a call. Like I said, hopefully that'll be there still. Give us a call to numbers on the screen. Check out all of our different things. Stratecision, if you need it, is there. We've got the CEO. We've got all the different tools you need to be successful. And with that, I want to thank you so very, very, very much for jumping on today. And if you can, set that alarm clock and try to get up by 11 if you can tomorrow morning, 11 Central, because I would love to walk through and show you what we did with this pivot presentation, because I'm proud of it and I think it'll do a good job for you as well. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. You have a great day. Stay healthy. Bye-bye.
Check out our website, goldencareagent.com, or give us a call at 800-842-7799.